You guys wanted a Kawhi Leonard decision. You got a Kawhi Leonard decision. That's right. And of course, it happened at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because when else would Kawhi Leonard let the world know of his decision? Because Kawhi Leonard does what Kawhi Leonard wants to do, when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it, whenever he damn well pleases how to do it. And I've been saying all week, the man has earned that. He can do whatever he wants. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's just perfect. It's fitting. It's absolutely just perfect that the news drops at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 6th. What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Ettinger, your host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. As you can see and as you know, we have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to try to break down as much as I can in the next 15 minutes. So sit back, relax, take it all in, and enjoy. You can find this on YouTube. My Dave Talk Sports is the YouTube channel. You can also find me on Twitter at Dave Ettinger2. You can find me on my website, DaveTalkSports.com, and my Facebook page named Dave Talk Sports. That's right, Kawhi Leonard, the wait is over. Now, to some and maybe most, it feels like it took a really long time. It didn't really. I mean, free agency opened on the 30th of June, and it's happening overnight, the 5th into the 6th. So it's not really that long. We just live in a world, and we live in a society where everything must happen right away. I need it now. I need it yesterday. And 6 days? 5.5? 6 days. We'll call it 6 days. If people can't wait 6 days, give the man a break. So please don't kill Kawhi Leonard for taking his time. Now, Kawhi Leonard is going to a team that nobody really thought he was going to go to. Yes, they were on the very short list of teams that were a possibility, but nobody actually thought he was going to go to the Los Angeles Clippers. And you guys have become the ultimate winners in free agency. It used to be the Nets, not the Nets anymore. It's the Clippers. Because not only did the Clippers acquire Kawhi Leonard in free agency, they acquire Paul George. Because Kawhi Leonard said, you guys think I'm just sitting in a closet somewhere, without social media, without a phone, without the internet, just chilling, just waiting to make up my own mind, like all zen or antisocial creepy like. No, he's out there recruiting. Dude's normal. Dude just wanted to do things in his own way. So he wanted to play with Kevin Durant. That rumor was true. But that fell through. Durant went to Brooklyn. He went with Kyrie. The rest of that story. So he called up his boy Paul George. He said, "Yo, PG-13, I need you. Get your way out of Oklahoma City. I know you can't be liking living next to Russell Westbrook and the way he plays. Maybe they like each other. Maybe they're getting along. That's why Paul George re-signed to stay in Oklahoma City in the first place. But that style of play, I'm a better fit with you. I'm Kawhi Leonard. I just beat the Warriors by myself pretty much. So we're going to join forces. But I need you in LA. You want to go back to LA? I want to go back to LA. So let's make this happen." So what does Paul George do? He says, "Yeah, I got this." He said, "Of course, I got this." So he goes to ownership and he says, "Listen, Oklahoma City, love you guys. I know you renamed July 7th Paul George Day because that's when I made my decision, last year and officially signed. But I need out. You got to get me out of here. I got to get out of here. So he basically forces his hand. Now, I doubt you're going to hear the criticism of Paul George that we heard for Anthony Davis. But he forced his way out of town. Nobody was talking about it, though. Nobody was reporting it. And that part, to me, is really funny. All right, so you name the person. Let's start with Chris Broussard, right? Respected NBA analyst, not an NBA insider. There's a difference. Adrian Wojnarowski is the NBA insider. Adam Schefter is the NFL insider. There's a difference between being an insider and having real sources and real information than being someone who knows the sport, gets paid to talk about this sport, and be an analyst. There's a big difference. So when Chris Broussard tweets out, man, wait, no decision yet. We're waiting on decision. It was really, really close. Raptors had a really strong meeting. Drake was in the meeting. He's talking about putting Kawhi on his album label. Plus the Lakers. It's really close. Clippers are out. This is what the man wrote in his tweet. Clippers out. You don't put that to paper, Twitter, unless you know 100% for a fact, which nobody knows. Nobody knows, because ultimately it was up to Kawhi Leonard to make his decision however he wanted, whenever he wanted. You also had these reports from Stephen A. Smith and Jalen Rose. Again, y'all are not insiders. You know way more about the sport, and you have way more contacts than anybody like me, but you're not dropping Woj bombs. Stephen A. is out here talking about Kevin Durant like he spoke to him. Kevin Durant goes, "Yeah, you don't even have my number, man. What are you talking about? Come on. You're making up stuff. We didn't even talk because you don't have my number." And this guy's talking like the sources are 100% accurate. It is crazy to me. You know when you should report it? How you should report it? The way Woj reported it. When he was asked on different shows and different platforms, where's Kawhi going? And this is days ago. Do you know what he said? Go find the tape. Go find his tweets. You go find it. He said, I don't know. He said, I don't know, because that's what you're supposed to say when you're an actual insider, but you don't have the information yet. So he said, I don't know. And when he had it last night, 2 a.m., it broke and it was real. So, Kawhi Leonard signs with the Clippers. Paul George forces his way out of Oklahoma City in a trade. Now, the Clippers give up Danilo Gallinari, who when on the court is a really talented player. Can give you almost 20 points a night, does a couple other things, pretty decent rebounder, pretty decent passer. But he's often injured, right? So it's been a problem. Then they give up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of their young point guards, who I think has potential, but hasn't really shown that full potential yet. And obviously you're trading for Paul George. You trade for Paul George. And then they give up like 17,897 first-round picks. It feels that way. The initial report was 4 first-round unprotected picks. Now we're learning that it looks like it's going to be 5. When those details are set in stone and the deals are signed, I will give you the actual information, word for word, of what it is. But it's looking like picks in 2022, 2024, 2026, teams acquired by other teams in 2021, because you can't give up your own first round pick in consecutive years. So they might be getting 21 and 23 picks via other teams, and then pick swaps in 23 and 25. Like I said, when we have the actual information, I'll give it to you 100%. We can write it down together. Those are the rumored ideas for the picks, which is insane. But the Clippers are now going to be pretty good. Are going to be really good. So while those guys are there, how really valuable are those picks going to be? You don't want to give up 4 or 5 or swap picks for the next 6 years. But number one, if you win a title in the next 2 or 3 years, it's worth it. Without a question, it's worth it. And what's a late first round pick really? What's the value to that? Nowadays, you're getting these not fresh out of high school, but 1 year out of college, basically high school removed kids that they're just not ready for the NBA. Now, the top 5 picks usually are, but who's the 25th pick in the draft? Right? Who's the 28th pick in the draft? Every once in a while, it turns into a real player. We know that can happen. But for the most part, it's not a real guy. So I'm not going to get too crazy over giving up all these picks. Sounds like a lot, but at the end of the day, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are not teaming up to go to the second round of the playoffs. They're teaming up to win another championship. Kawhi wants another championship in a third city, and I'm sure Paul George would love one. Right? So the Lakers miss out, the Raptors miss out. Now there's these other rumors going on. Other deals that could or couldn't have happened. It's just crazy the stuff that gets floated out there. So the Thunder with Sam Presti, their general manager, apparently was in touch with Masai Ujiri from the Raptors. I was talking about a deal sending Russell Westbrook and Paul George. And the centerpiece was going to be Siakam. And the Raptors said no. That's really hard to believe. Siakam's a really nice player. Most improved player in the NBA this past year. I really like him. He has great potential. And I don't know what the other pieces to that deal were to make the salaries match, how many picks were involved. It was just a rumor. But if you're telling me you turned down Russell Westbrook and Paul George because you don't want to give up Siakam? I mean, come on. What are we doing here? So I don't know how much truth there is to that. Well, again, we'll find out when I know. I'll give you all the information. See, normally you join me on the commute home from work. Today, on a Saturday, you join me on my commute into work to one of my other jobs at ESPN Plus, where I help broadcast some games. And I was about to tell you about a taxi that was about to be in my way, but he promptly moved out of the way. So we're good on that front. So the Lakers miss out. They already have Anthony Davis. They already have LeBron James, of course. So they start kind of frantically making moves. Not saying that they're bad moves because they were being done in a hurry. But once the Kawhi decision was made, you knew that the rest of the free agents were going to kind of fly off the board. So Danny Green, even though he's been kind of connected at the hip with Kawhi Leonard over the last couple of years, or last lot of years, actually ended up with the Lakers. He signs a two-year $30 million deal, and he's going to be a sharpshooter over there next to LeBron. I mean, LeBron loves those guys. When you have a ball-dominant LeBron James, you have an Anthony Davis who can stretch the floor as a big, and then you have a guy like Danny Green who just sits there and says, oh, thank you, popping threes all day. Yeah, you're going to be happy with that. They're also bringing back JaVale McGee, who is an athletic center, 7 feet tall, had a really nice first half of the year, didn't look so great in the second half of the year, but, you know, we'll see. It's a decent signing. But the signing that I'm hearing as of today, which I really like, and I was thinking that maybe the Clippers would go get him, is DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins, in my opinion, the biggest name left in free agency after Kawhi Leonard, signing with the Lakers. This is what I'm hearing. This is a great signing. I don't know the details of the deal yet, but it's probably a 1 or 2 year deal. I can't imagine he's getting a long-term contract at this point in free agency. Why not take a chance on this guy? DeMarcus Cousins, before his injuries, he and Anthony Davis are the best centers in the NBA. Like, not even that close. Guy was 27 points, 12 or 13 or even 14 rebounds. Can actually pass a little bit, 3 or 4 assists, and learned how to shoot the three. Guy is a monster. Little bit of a head case, gets a lot of technical fouls, doesn't always play well with others. You should have a warning label somewhere. I'm DeMarcus Cousins. I don't play well with others. But the guy is super talented, so why not take a chance on this guy? I actually would have been way happier as a Knicks fan if they did that instead of Taj Gibson and even, pick another player because they're all scrubs that they signed in free agency. Why not take a chance on DeMarcus Cousins? Give him 2 years, third year as a team option, and maybe he plays well. You can hold on to him for 3 years at, $8 to $10 million a year. That's what you're giving Taj Gibson anyway. I mean, why not give that a try? Maybe he didn't want to come here. I'm just speculating completely. I'm just making stuff up at this point. But good move scrambling by the Lakers. Now the question is, who are the Raptors going to add after losing Kawhi Leonard? Time will tell. Free agency deals can become official today. I don't think anyone's backtracking the way DeAndre Jordan did a couple of years ago, so I think that everything you've heard is going to be set in stone, but you never know. Like I said, big news in the NBA. Just crazy, man. You thought free agency was fun the first day, frantic the first day. You get the Kawhi Leonard signing and Paul George trade happening at 2 a.m. last night, and the Twitter world went crazy. I happen to be awake still, so I got to enjoy that for about a half an hour before I fell asleep. And Twitter was going bananas. That thing was crazy. But in other basketball news, we saw the debut of Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett with the Knicks and the Pelicans playing in the Summer League. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't watch more than 4 minutes of this game, but it's Summer League. RJ Barrett didn't shoot particularly well, went 4 from 18 from the field. Everyone, stop. Pump the brakes, like hard. Stop. Don't criticize a guy who's played 1 year in college, was the number 3 pick in the draft, and just because he plays for the Knicks, you think that everything's going to fall apart like the sky's already falling, and criticize his game because he didn't have a good shooting night and didn't really want to pass. Stop. Maybe RJ Barrett doesn't work out, but give him 2 or 3 years to figure that out in real NBA games, not one freaking Summer League game, please. Wasn't even a complete game, by the way, because if you haven't heard, there was an earthquake in California that shook Vegas, northern Mexico. It was a big one. It was a 7.1 earthquake that happened overnight last night. So the game was actually cut short because of the earthquake. So these guys didn't even play a full game. At the same time, you get Zion Williamson, now we're hearing has a bruised knee, and he got shut down for the rest of Summer League. So I don't want to hear anything about Summer League other than this is fun. We're watching some competition battles, roster battles, who's going to make which roster, and just get a feel for guys. Don't judge a guy in the preseason in the NFL. Don't judge a guy on spring training in baseball, especially the veteran pitchers who are just working on their stuff. Don't judge a rookie in his first game of NBA Summer League. Anyone who did that last night and is still doing it today should be ashamed of themselves. And last but not least, yesterday, if you're watching Wimbledon, you know the story. If you're listening to this podcast, the Dave Talk Sports podcast, this is episode number 11. And I'm your host, Dave Ettinger of CBS Sports Radio Network. You know I talked about Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff is the phenom, 15-year-old, who's now won 3 matches entering the 4th round in Wimbledon at 15 years old. Now, the first 2 players she played in the first 2 rounds, while ranked higher than she is, because she's ranked like 313th in the world going into Wimbledon. She's going to be much higher when this tournament's over. Weren't the best players in the first 2 rounds, so it's understandable with her style of play, the way she's been playing, that she was able to take those players down. But the 3rd round, you played a Polona Hercog who's actually ranked 60th in the world. That's a real player. And if you watch the match, Coco Gauff got down. She got down early. She hung in there. But she lost the first set. Then in the second set, you look like, all right, Cinderella's story is over. We all had fun with it. You could see she's fighting with all she's got. And it was great. But gets down love 3 in the second set. Gets down 2-5 in the second set. Fights her way back, all the way back to force a second set tiebreak. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. She forces a 3rd set and wins the 3rd set in dramatic fashion. And this match wasn't just a close match. It was a fun to watch, exciting, interesting, intriguing match the entire time. It was one of those on your edge of the seat matches at Wimbledon. And you have to love the story of this 15-year-old phenom. You just have to. You have a pulse. You like sports. You like tennis. You like Wimbledon. You have to love this story. It's just an awesome story. So congratulations to Coco Gauff. Now the road gets a lot bit tougher. You get to play Simona Halep. All right. I'm rooting for the kid. I'm rooting for you, Coco. I don't think you're going to win this match. I'm sorry. I just don't see it happening. You have to play the match of your life. Simona Halep has to play probably the worst match of her life. Anything's possible. That's why there's 2 players out on the court. I just don't see it happening. But best of luck. The story has been fantastic. And the way you fought, the grit, the toughness that you showed yesterday in that 3rd round match, awesome. Awesome, awesome. I'm rooting for you all the way. So good luck. All right, my friends. NBA news galore. Coco Gauff just storming on the scene. A lot going on yesterday and today. It's been an exciting, now still 4th of July weekend. It's July 6th. It's just after 5 p.m. I am Dave Ettinger of CBS Sports Radio Network, your host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. Hope you've enjoyed this one. You could, of course, find it on YouTube. Subscribe right below the video to my YouTube channel named Dave Talk Sports. Find me on Twitter at Dave Ettinger and the number 2. Find me on Facebook, Dave Talk Sports, and also at my website, DaveTalkSports.com. It's been fun, everybody. I know I had a good time. Hope you enjoyed. Until tomorrow's Sunday. We rest tomorrow. So until Monday, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. See you.